Hey everyone, this is your favorite radio host, your only radio host and favorite girl of course, Corinne Lafont, broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean on the Sister Line. And I have with me a very noisy guest. She's making a lot of noise looking for something there. Can you imagine? Is it because she's having her second time on my show? What is going on here? Andrea Hall, looking beautiful as ever. And you know I always start my show off being thankful. I'm thankful to have another day, another chance, another do over. Yeah. And
Yes.
it's awesome. It's awesome. And, I woke up this morning and in preparing for the show, getting ready for the show, I came up on some videos about, just like that. It just, I don't ask me how it came up on my screen, but, probably in looking for something, I just came up on this other video that spoke about, giving so much of yourself to somebody who really doesn't appreciate you. You just keep giving them the ocean and they wouldn't even cross a puddle for you. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, they wouldn't cross a puddle for you. Yeah, you are swimming the ocean and crossing the ocean and they wouldn't cross a puddle. And they're just so ungrateful. And not that you should do anything to get something in return, because I don't believe in that. But people must be able to show some sort of gratitude. You must see and feel, yeah, this person appreciates what you do. Yeah, for you to feel, yeah, I can continue giving as opposed to it going in vain all the time, unappreciated. So
Right.
yeah, I appreciate, Andrea being here a second time. She had a wonderful time back in September when we spoke about living your joy, and she spoke about her horses, which I never get to see. I, I never get to see. But don't you worry, one of these days, and she needs to record. I told her, I said, Andrea, make sure you record those horses out there and send me video. She hasn't yet. It's December. She thought I forgot. So, so she needs to do that as my Christmas present, Andrea Hall. Yeah,
Okay.
please do that for me so that I can say, yes, that is my Christmas present, to do a video of the horses out there running and her, riding. And I just want to see the horses. Come on, do that for me for my Christmas. Okay.
Sure.
Very good. If she doesn't, I will come back to you people and tell her she didn't. Tell everybody she didn't do. But today we're talking about sex offenses and domestic violence. And why we're talking about that? Because it's such a prevalent topic worldwide. I don't know what is going on. I don't know what people are eating or drinking that's causing them to do these things, or what air they're breathing, but I don't know. And the reason why we're talking about that today, besides being a topical issue, is because Andrea, which I'm going to read her bio in a while, was once a vivacious lawyer. She doesn't look so, but look at me. I'm telling you, she's a lawyer and dealing with these type of things. So I really want to pull from her views on that, and then we're going to talk about how the whole rehabilitation process, the forgiveness, the healing can be done using um, her her venture, her business with using horses. So let me tell you a bit about Andrea. Andrea has worked as a high-powered criminal defense attorney for over 13 years, specializing in sex offenses and domestic violence. After discovering a brain tumor, Andrea decided it was time to get off the hamster wheel and leave the criminal justice system behind. She always loved and was attracted to horses like I am. Andrea has done numerous years of personal coaching with Personal Success Institute. Prior to getting certified, she was able to combine her love for horses, her ability to coach, and help others into a new career as a certified equine. Is that how you pronounce it? I always ask that. Guest
Equine, yep.
equine gestalt, or some people say gestalt coach. Gestalt means wholeness, and this is what we are supposed to be working towards, people becoming whole. Some of us are 25%, 50%, 10%, 75, but we are not 100%. And this is what Andrea and the Herd brings to lawyers and couples and people who are in abusive relationships, no matter what it is. She became certified through Melissa Pierce's Touched by a Horse program in May 2016. So that's what, 2 years and going. She and her
Yep.
husband, yeah, she and her husband live in Eaton, Colorado on 48 acres. Can you imagine that? So she needs to take pictures and record that for me. Where she runs Withers Whisper LLC. She has 7 horses, one of which is mine. I just added that in. And uses them in her EGC work. Andrea works with lawyers who either need to find balance in their life, gosh, the hamster wheel again, or discover what makes their heart sing again. She also works with couples who are wanting to take their relationship to another level. If divorce is the answer, she and the horses help them heal. We talked about healing before, the unfinished business. A quote from Dr. Phil, everybody knows Dr. Phil, she loves, is you have to earn your way out of the marriage before you become whole. Andrea does free initial consultations, and you can check out Andrea's blog, interviews, workshops, and retreats on her website, which we will feature a little bit later. She's the author of Sex and Justice, of course, after being a lawyer for 13 years in that area. She has 2 more books coming out, as she says, I don't know if this summer meant this coming summer in 2019, where she's a contributing author, Living Your Joy, Creating a Joyful Life by Joyce Graham. Her story is called For the Love of Horses. I love that. And Touched by a Horse, Equine, I say equine, Coaching Stories Anthology. Welcome, Andrea, to Between the Lines.
Thank you.
Yes, it's a pleasure having you with your lustrous hair. I just love your hair. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
How long do you spend combing that thing?
Oh, it takes a minute to get ready, I guess.
All right. So sex offenses and domestic violence. When you were in that 13 years ago, was it 13 years ago? You spent 13 years. How long ago have you come out of being a lawyer?
I still actually have 1 case left. We'll be setting that for trial probably next week. That will be my last case, however.
Wow.
I've stopped taking cases. And so that will be the last case that I probably try, unless I decide at some point in time later in life that I want to do it again. However, I don't think that will be the case.
So tell me, Andrea, in your years of dealing, first to begin, why did you go into that area as a lawyer? Were you pushed into it? Is it just something that through the universe directed you to? When you decided to become a lawyer, what type of lawyer you wanted to become, or criminal law was your thing?
Well, criminal was kind of always my thing. I got a degree in criminal justice. That was my undergraduate degree. However, I think what, really steered me was I got a DUI 2 weeks before I started law school. And the officer who ended up arresting me was an officer that used to come into the restaurant where I waited tables before I went to law school, and they would get off shift at 11 o'clock at night. They would come in. They would slam beers, or actually Long Island teas, because they came in on Wednesday nights. They would drink Long Island teas from 11 o'clock until 1 o'clock and get in their car and drive home. And
Andrea, I'm going to stop you there for 1 second. Give me 1 second, okay? And I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, so sorry about that, Andrea. You were saying?
So it was an officer that used to come in with like his, crew or whatever. After they got off shift, they would drink Long Island teas and get in their car and drive home. And I had just been accepted to law school. We were out celebrating, and I had been at a party after the bars closed. He had been at that party and busted it. I left the party like at 4 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't been drinking for at least 3 to 4 hours. And unfortunately, somebody had poured some beer over me at the party. It was a summer night. It was hot. Of course, I, reeked like beer. And when he pulled me over, because he saw me leaving the party, he said, of course, I smelled like alcohol, which I said, yeah, somebody poured beer on me at the party. However, he ended up arresting me, and he made up all these lies about my behavior and my demeanor and what I was doing, and that he knew me. And I was like, this guy doesn't know me from Adam. Where he knows me from is a restaurant where I waited on him. Other than that, he didn't know me. But he lied. And I said, how is it possible that this guy is getting away with this? And I said that to my attorney, and my attorney said, because he's a cop and you had alcohol in your system. And even though you were right at the legal limit, they are not going to believe a word you say because you had alcohol in your system. And I said, never again on my watch will that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why I got involved with the criminal defense arena and why I advocate for people, because it's been my experience that more police officers lie and hide the truth and put a square peg in a round hole to get another notch in their belt.
Wow. That is totally unfair, totally unfair. And why, it's picking on women in particular who are quite vulnerable. Some of them, and when I say some of them, I'm not referring to cops, policemen, people in, that wears a uniform. Just men in general, maybe taking advantage of a woman's weakness or vulnerability at that particular point in time. What sort of other situations have you been seeing that leads to these type of sexual offenses or domestic violence happening in the home?
Well, I mean, it's very easy for a woman to claim that she's been sexually assaulted or abused.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, this is a prime example, and this is what I say to a lot of, younger men, college kids, things of that nature, especially with the younger kids now, in the sexting.
Mm-hmm.
I remind them that it's very easy for a girl to cry rape, that you didn't stop when she said no. I said, and how do you prove that it was consensual when your semen's in her vagina?
Yeah.
It's just very, very difficult. And the pendulum has swung so far to the other side. It used to be, back in the 60s and 70s, it really wasn't talked about, or if it was talked about, it was still kept very hush hush. Charges weren't brought, families brushed it under the rug. Catholic Church moved priests from one location to another. And now we've swung to the exact opposite side of the pendulum, where a girl can say anything and somebody's arrested and their lives are forever changed. I mean, you've seen it with this Me Too movement. I mean, it's just, to me, gotten completely out of control. I mean, now we're dealing with, a song from the 1960s, Baby It's Cold Outside. We should ban that. I mean, we've got school principals here that won't let you hand out candy canes because they look like the word J for Jesus. I'm like, people, are you kidding me? Like, we're not allowed to say Merry Christmas because we might offend somebody if they're Jewish, or they don't celebrate Christmas. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
are you really kidding me? This is where we've gone to? That we are so hypersensitive and just babies about everything?
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that sounds so fun. You can't hang out candy canes.
Yeah, there's a school principal, I believe it's in Ohio, that has refused to allow people to bring candy canes to school because it looks like the letter J for Jesus.
Oh my God. I heard somebody on a video talking about, look, this whole Merry Christmas thing, why we can't say that? That is the original thing. This is what it is about. Why we can't say that? Why we have to say seasons, greetings, happy holidays? Why? They don't change.
Why don't?
They don't change the other holidays. They don't say happy Eid or whatever. They say whatever they don't change the other religious phrases or terminologies. This is crazy. People are and it has been building with a lot of things over the years too.
Yes.
So it's not just with sexual offenses and domestic violence. But what would you say? I mean, knowing that this is the direction that we are going, and you being a lawyer, and you having to kind of balance that pendulum, because you're put in a position of trying to defend someone, trying to know if they're speaking the truth, getting the evidence, because with you lawyers, I know it's all about the evidence. It doesn't matter who say, them say, she say, what's the evidence, what's the proof? Everything is about proof. And so what would you say to young people? Because we know the kind of promiscuity that's happening with young folks. And of course adults as well, who are just not whole, like we say, they're just not whole. What would you say to persons out there, women especially, to prevent being put in a position like this or compromising themselves? What would you say to them?
Well, I think women, first of all, need to not be naive. You know, I go back to the Kobe Bryant scenario that we had here in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who goes to a famous basketball player's hotel room and doesn't think he's going to ask for some booty?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, really? You thought you were going to go up there and chit chat about the weather? Now, don't get me wrong. If she says no, she says no. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
However, the thought process behind why you were going to the room,
Mm-hmm.
don't tell me you were going up there because you didn't think anything was happening.
Yeah.
You were going up there because you were hoping you were going to have some sex with the boy. Don't
Mm-hmm.
tell me you weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you may have changed your mind after you got up there, and that's one thing. However, I just sometimes think that, you know, women play this dumb, naive card, and I'm like, you know, women supposedly want all this power, and, you know, we want to be acknowledged, and we want to be executives, and we want to have the same rights as men, and I'm like, what you don't understand is you're not a man.
Yeah.
Men were put on this earth to procreate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what they're here for. So it's nothing for them to be in a relationship with a woman tonight and a different one another night and not be in a long-term relationship. That's not what women are made up about. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some women that have been able to sever that and allow themselves to be with multiple men. And more than likely that's from past trauma, being sexually assaulted, things of that nature. However, that's not a woman's makeup.
Mm-hmm.
So when a woman has an intimate relationship with a man, the oxytocin in her brain goes off and she's forever attached to that man.
Yes.
Because her goal is to make a family.
Yeah.
His goal is to leave a seed wherever he can plant it. Right? I mean, that's human nature. No matter, I mean, that's biologically human nature. Just getting down to science, right?
Yeah.
So I think women want both sides of the coin, and we're just not able to have it. You know, the other day somebody posted something about a nursing home, and the women there were able to, and I don't know if it was a joke, I'm just telling you what I saw on Facebook, is that the women were able to ask like Chippendale men to come and serve them dinner.
Ew.
And, you know, people were laughing and whatever, and I said, oh, that's funny. I said, but if this had been a man that posted that there was men in the nursing home and they had girls from the local strip club coming to serve them dinner, I said, women would be absolutely up in arms throwing a fit about this. I said, but it's okay if a woman does it. I said, I'm telling you, I've been to Chippendales events and women act like lunatics.
Mm-hmm.
I said, they get drunk, I said, and they're throwing money at these men and acting like they've never seen a man in their life. I said, if you go to a strip club, I said, I can tell you that the men there are not acting like that. I said, they're typically sitting down, they're having a cocktail, they're minding their own business. They might be talking a buck or two into this girl's G-string, talking to her, getting a lap dance, whatever. But it's very calm, cool, collected, and casual. I said, women act crazy.
But I would act crazy too. Hey, I'm in front of Chippendales. Hello.
Right, but why is it okay for a woman to do that and not okay for a man to do that? That's what I'm saying.
No, but the men do it too, and it's okay for the men.
Pardon me?
It's okay for the men to do it because that's what they do when they're at a strip club. They get crazy and they throw money.
No, it's not. If you ask somebody out on the street, women are being victimized, idealized, sexualized. That's what it would be if you talk to somebody walking down the street. That's what I'm saying. There's such a double standard. You know, it's just like if a man is out having cocktails and saying something about, you know, President Trump's a prime example, you know, grab that girl, you know, do whatever. I've been out with my girlfriends and had a few cocktails. We've said some pretty crazy things that I don't necessarily want my mother to know or the whole, you know, world to know that I said. You know, you make snide comments to the waiter, you're cute, you know, whatever. And it's funny that women can do that, but the minute a man does it, it's a problem. And that's what I'm saying. We've swung so far. Now, don't get me wrong. Have there been men in the history that have taken advantage of women, used their position of status to take advantage of women, keep them in a lower position, you know, we're seeing it, like I said, with the Me Too movement, men in high positions that have, you know, put women in compromising positions, not allowing them to get to places that they wanted to be unless there was sexual favors and sexual harassment behind the scenes and all that good stuff. Absolutely. But like I said, I think we've swung so far to the pendulum and gotten so hypersensitive about everything. You know, I guess I was a girl that told the dirty jokes and drank beer with the guys. I had way more fun with the guys than I did with the girls. So for me, I'm not offended by that. And I guess if I ever was offended by it, then I didn't hang out with those people. Period. End of story. And, you know, when I hear some of the things like, well, I couldn't leave my job, I'm thinking, really? You weren't capable of leaving your job? Now, you might not want to have left your job because it was very lucrative and it was potentially going to get you to someplace else. However, you were fully capable of leaving your job. You could have went and waitressed. You could have went and got a job at Denny's. I mean, there's lots of things you could have done. But staying in the job because you couldn't leave, I call BS on that.
Domestic violence, what's happening in the home when there is, and do you find that it's more women being violated in the home, or are you seeing men also being violated? Do the men come out and talk? What's happening there?
You know, the men do, however, it's fewer and farther between. And I think it's harder for them to come out because the minute somebody says, I am being abused and they're a man, most people's response is, come on, she weighs 105 pounds dripping wet, whatever. But, you know, if a man has been raised properly to never strike a woman, it doesn't matter if she weighs 105 pounds or she's 250 pounds. If she's hitting them, striking them, you know, grabbing a candlestick, flashlight, whatever it is, she's still being abusive. And if they're not able to respond, because in their mind, that's how they were raised, that you should never touch a woman or strike a woman in anger. When that's going on, you know, they're somewhat embarrassed. They're fearful they won't be believed. However, those are all some of the things that, you know, are prominent in a woman as well. You know, fearful of coming forward. I'm not going to be believed. You know, we are known in society. No one's going to believe that, you know, he comes home and drinks and then beats me. No one will believe that. He's a doctor. He's a politician. He's whatever. So they hide it. And it's not like they just come home one day and start beating him, right?
No.
It's a progression. And how I explain it is, you know, the analogy of the frog in the hot water, right? They're in lukewarm water, and the heat gets gradually turned up. So we start with little things like, you know, you're not going there unless I go with you. You're not able to hang out with your friends. I'm going to control what you wear. You know, I keep track of the money. You don't get access to things like that until it builds to the point where now I'm going to grab you. Now I'm going to shake you. Now I'm going to put you up against the wall. Next time I might choke you. However, it's such a gradual, for the most part. Now, does it happen that, you know, things get out of control right away? Yes. However, those people are typically attracted. Like, I would never be attracted to somebody who was an abuser. There's just no way. Because first of all, I vibrate at a completely different level. Like, they would never be on the same plane as me. Because,
I love that.
You know, if somebody ever thought about touching me, he better sleep with one eye open, because the game is going to roll, right? And so that would never happen in my life just because of where I'm at personality-wise. So somebody that's an abuser can sense out somebody who's very vulnerable, is in a position where they would need them, you know, somebody who's a single parent. This is a conversation I had with you know, one of my girlfriends, and, you know, potentially somebody who she wants to date. And I said, here's the deal. I said, somebody who's like a pedophile or an abuser is going to sense that out and find out who's the vulnerable prey, right? Somebody who needs them and is not going to leave because they have the income and they're a single mom and they have 2 kids or whatever that is, right? So it's tough, but it does happen on both sides. And are there similarities? Absolutely.
Wow. I like how you said that you're vibrating at a higher level than the person so that you wouldn't necessarily be attracted to that. I want you to focus a little bit more on that so that people can understand what that means and what it would take for them to transition to vibrating to a higher level so that they can resist or not bring into their space those type of people.
So how I think about it is your favorite radio station, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the radio stations I listen to is 98.5. If my dial is not exactly on 98.5, if it's on 98.3 or 98.8, the radio station is potentially not going to come in at all, or it may be fuzzy. It has to exactly be on 98.5 in order for the radio station to come in clear. So that's the same thing with our life, right? So if you are somebody that came from, you know, an alcoholic, abusive family, or you've been sexually assaulted, or whatever the trauma is, right? You're vibrating at this level. And that's the type of people that you're going to attract just because you're on the same level. So in order not to attract that, like a magnet, if you will, in order not to attract that, you have to heal this and change this so that you go up or you go down, so that when you come across this person, you're not at the same level and you'll have a different awareness. So you'll be able to see things because you are vibrating at a different level. And this person may never even ever cross your path because you're on two separate highways. Now, you may potentially cross their path. However, like I said, you'll have some sort of an awareness that causes you to go, and your antennas will go up and go, that's not right, right? And then you'll just keep it moving. But if you were here at the same level, then you're potentially going to attract because the magnets are at the same vibration.
You talk about healing, you know, of whatever, because these type of, the frequency that you're on, of course, has been influenced by the environment you've been brought up in. Because we are born into families, we are born into situations that we have no control over, and we become what we become as a result of this. And it's only later on in life we become aware of who we are. If some of us are open to it, we become aware of who we are and conscious individuals. So when you realize that you need to be healed, how can, and I'm going to bring in here your horses, the work that you do with your horses, how can that help someone to heal, or even for you, based on your own experience, probably going through whatever in your life, dealing with this guy, this police guy, or even with your past brain tumor, how, you know, things that you would have done to heal, and how can the horses help persons to rehabilitate, to recognize that there is something within them that needs to be addressed. Because when it's painful, you know, Andrea, to be able to see that you're attracting certain types of people in your life, and it's like nothing is giving. You know, how first can persons be able to accept and not stay in denial, and then move past that into healing and vibrating at a higher frequency?
Well, a lot of times people want to blame, right? It's easy to say, well, he was this and he was that. The problem is that you're the common denominator. So you bring you to the party. So every relationship that you've been in, you bring you to the party. And like you said at the beginning, you bring all of your life experiences, all of your trauma, everything, your thoughts, your beliefs, all of that. So from the ages of 0 to 5, you have 50% of who you will be for the rest of your life. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your values, everything. And that all comes from the people that have taken care of you for the first 5 years of your life, which are your parents, your grandparents, close relatives. God forbid something happened and you were taken away from your parents and you were put in a foster system. Huge trauma right there, right? You were adopted, potentially trauma right there, right? So the list goes on from what can potentially happen from 0 to 5. And if you have 50% of who you will be for the rest of your life, that's huge. That's half of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the time you turn 18, you have 95% of who you will be for the rest of your life.
Wow.
That only leaves 5% potentially for any new information to come in or growth or change. So it becomes somewhat difficult, and you obviously have to say, I want to change. I want something different, right? And you're not able to change anybody else. They have to want that for themselves. Hence why going to AA or rehab or whatever it is doesn't change somebody unless they're ready to change and they've hit their bottom or whatever it is for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing, is somebody's got to want something different in their life and got to go, why do I keep attracting the same types of men or alcoholics or people that are abusive? And so then they go through that process with me of figuring that out. And once they figure that out, then we heal that so that now when they go out into the world, they're able to respond to the outside stimuli instead of reacting because of their past trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So they're able to see it from a different perspective because that past trauma has been healed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just that the whole thing of recognizing that you have something to heal. Some people are not ready to go within. They're
Right.
not ready to go within. They're not ready to deal. They run from it. You know, the narcissistic relationship is a prime example as well. You know, and especially if you've been surrounded by it. I have been surrounded by it. So it's pretty difficult for someone like me to maneuver in a space like that. Because I find myself attracting these people, not all the time, but attracting these people. What would you say to someone like me? Because I find even in society, it's quite a narcissistic one, more so now than before. What would you say to someone like me?
So part of that, though, is the awareness, right? And it happening sooner. So it might be like, oh my gosh, they're still coming into my life. However, you have to give yourself kudos because now you recognized it on date 2 instead of 2 weeks into it, right?
Yeah.
And so sooner rather than later, your awareness will become bigger, and you will finally get to a place where, no, I can sense that now just by like having a conversation with them. Or the minute the red flag goes up, I acknowledge that. A lot of times we as women know something's wrong intuitively, and we poo-poo it.
Yeah.
Because our head or our heart wants to talk us out of it, and neither one of those are right, right?
Yeah.
So we talk ourselves out of it and attempt to rationalize why my gut is wrong.
Yeah.
And then afterwards we go, really? I should have listened to my gut. My gut knew the whole time.
Yeah. So you start just like how you were using the example of the radio frequency. Even if you're not clear on that exact dial, something is fuzzy and you feel it, you sense it, you're hearing the static. And so you need to pay attention to the static and say, wait a minute, something is off here. Pay attention to the static, which I guess equates to your gut instinct. Something is off. And so I need to fix this. I need to sense and feel. And you see, the whole thing about feeling is something that a lot of people don't want to do. Feel.
Oh, yes. We're such
they prefer to intellectualize everything, but the feeling, they're not. And it's like it's put down, Andrea. When you talk about feeling, it's put down. What do you mean you feel? You're feely, touchy, sissy kind of a thing. That's like a sissy thing. You feel what? And people discount it. They put it down. They quiet that voice in you. They quiet you because you feel. What do you mean you feel? You're supposed to come across with intellectual, mind-blowing statements, big words, whatever. What do you mean you feel?
Yeah. Well, and that's part of, I think, why we have a lot of the problems that we do in the world nowadays. People don't feel into their body. They get sick, they go to a doctor, they want a pill. And most of the time, you know, you can heal your own body. I
Yeah.
mean, if you break the word disease down, it's the body being at dis-ease.
Ease. Yes.
And people don't want that.
No.
You know, the minute somebody gets a cold, and my mom's a prime example, you know, if I get a cold, her first response is, well, what are you taking? I'm
Yeah.
like, what do you
Yeah.
mean, what am I taking?
Yeah.
You know, she was like, well, you know, take this to dry up your nose and take that
Yeah.
for the, and I go, Mom, I said, your body is wanting to go through this. I said, and the more you attempted to stop, the longer it takes. I said, so you stop the runny nose, but you keep everything inside your body. It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I said, your body's natural instinct is to get it out. So that's why your nose is running. So let's take an antihistamine to stop your nose from running.
Yeah, my mother does the same thing too. I am like, what the hell? What do you mean? What are you taking? Go to the doctor. The clinic is open all now. Go up, try and go to the doctor. I'm like, why? I'm like, why? This is a natural process of my body. It's telling me something. I would just sit it out, go through it. I don't rush to go to a doctor. I don't like doctors because your body speaks to you, you know. This is how I learn about my body. I talk to my body. It tells me, my cells talk to me. My cells tell me, it's something in your liver. You know, you need to do this, you need to do that. I'll be like, okay, it's my liver. And then I might start doing some research. I will start talking to my body some. This is what I do. So if I do end up at a doctor, I would say, listen, I know it's my liver. My body's telling me. I know it's my intestines. I know. I know. You know.
But then the doctors don't want to listen to you either.
No, I know.
When I had the brain tumor, and I have little respect for doctors. I really do, because I just get so frustrated when I go and see them. I kept saying, it feels like the circulation to my head's being cut off.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept saying, there's nothing the matter with you. And I said, well, I've been living in this body longer than you've been practicing medicine. Don't tell me there's nothing the matter with my body, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sure shoot, you know, I get the MRI and it's like the tumor has shoved my brain stem into my spinal cord and the cerebral fluid's not getting through. So that's exactly what was happening. The fluid from my spinal cord was not getting to my head and it was short circuiting. So every time there was pressure and the brain stem cut the fluid, I would pass out. That's exactly what was happening in layman's terms. The circulation to my head was being cut off. So I told him exactly what was the matter with me, yet because I didn't say, I have a tumor that is pushing my brainstem down into my spinal cord, and my spinal cord is, you know, cutting off the fluid, it made no sense to them.
You're a lawyer, sweetie. You're not a medical doctor.
Yes.
Stick to what you know. Stick to what you know. Don't try to come across to this side. I am the expert here. You came to see me. Why did you come to see me if you know it all? Okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was definitely. Plus, you know, you're a woman and you don't know anything.
Right. What do you know? Really? Right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. So there are a number of different issues playing here, you know, in terms of the whole sex offenses, the behaviors expected of a woman, man, you know, the things we do to compromise. I think the main thing of all of what we're saying is the frequency. I think that brings it all together. Being on a particular frequency higher than, so that you can resist, pick up, you know, and become aware and conscious of the clues, like how you're saying. It's so insidious and it happens over time, like the frog in the water. When you start seeing that he's controlling the clothes you wear, or you know, the little things, you're like, nope, this is not going to get any further. It means that you're operating at a higher frequency. You're picking up that something is off, and you're not going to wait for him to turn the dial for you and put you on his frequency, as opposed to him stepping up to your frequency. So I think that really sums up everything in terms of picking up with sexual offenses, reducing it, as well as domestic violence in the home. Don't wait, because I have a friend here who, I mean, she lost her life. She lost her life. He killed her. He killed himself after and burned both of them, because his words to her, I know the mother, she said he told her, if I can't get you, nobody else can.
Yeah.
That is so sad. So he decided to kill himself. Yeah, because she tried to leave him. But you see, women too talk too much, and we we say all the things we're going to do, and you have to be careful who you trust. And because of the fear, she tried to tell her mom, or everybody tried to reach out to her, but she keep, I guess, going back. I don't understand why they keep going back, even if you're not financially equipped. Just run. Somebody's going to help you.
I think part of the problem, though, is the mental at that point, right?
That's a big problem, the mental
Yeah.
and the self-worth.
Yep. Their self-esteem and self-worth is so low that, they could have the richest, most beautiful man say to them they're in love with them, and it falls on deaf ears. They're not able to hear it, right? Just because of where they're vibrating at. Right?
Yeah.
It's not able to get through because this is way too high.
Yeah. And sometimes it's the other way around, Andrea. Sometimes they're involved with a rich, very rich, wealthy person, and they feel, ooh, this guy loves me, even though he's abusive and he's narcissistic. They stick with that because, hey, I have a guy who's rich. He's paying attention to me. He's, but he's abusive to you. He's stalking you. He's doing you all sorts of things that, it's creepy.
Yep.
Some moment, you wonder what it is about us. Why do we give in to these things? Why do we compromise, Andrea? I don't know what else to say. Why do we compromise on ourselves and our lives? And especially if children are involved, it makes it even worse. Why do we do it?
Like I said, it comes from self-worth, past trauma, things that they've observed with their mother and their father, relationships in their past, things of that nature. It all stems from that.
Wow. So we're going into 2019, and it's such an opportune time that we speak about this. People use this time to reflect, and I'm sure a lot of people are going through not only, different types of abuse. And what I find happening is that with domestic or physical abuse, people focus on that, but it's really the mental behind it. Physical scars can fade over time, not that you would forget, but the mental don't fade. The mind job that they work on you don't fade. And we need to really, instead of working on resolutions about losing weight, which is fine and all those things, we need to really work on ourselves. I think the biggest journey and the biggest goal in life is really to know you. Spend the time knowing you. Learn about yourself. Be good with yourself. Date yourself. Yeah? Learn about you.
Yeah.
I ask about the horses, Andrea. What could you do with your horses to help persons in this type of situation?
Well, the horses are just healing in of themselves, just being in their presence. And so the horses really reflect and give people instantaneous feedback of what's going on in their life.
Wow.
And help them heal that through the Gestalt process.
Wow. You say instantaneous. That seems way out there. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to give us an example of how that works?
Well, it's really transformational, and that's the difference between what I do with the horses and traditional talk therapy. Is the horses in the Gestalt work are transformational, and the horses give instantaneous feedback. So let's just say I was in the round pen or I had a client in the round pen, and I said, what color's your shirt? And they had on a black shirt, and they said their shirt's white. Like we were talking about earlier, everything has a vibrational sequence, words, everything. And so they said their shirt's white, that would not be their truth, and the horse would not be attracted to that.
Yeah.
So if they said their shirt is black, that would be their truth and would be in alignment with their body, and the horse would want to join up with that. So if they said their relationship with their husband, their significant other, is great, and in reality it's not. Their conscious mind might believe that it's fine, but their subconscious mind knows differently, and so that would not be in alignment, and the horse would not want to join up with that. So whatever they're talking about, telling a story about, sharing, the horse is going to know whether that's truth or not. And I'm picking up on what the horse is doing, how the horse is responding to what's going on in the round pen. And as a result of that, then we work through, the process and attempt to figure out what is actually going on and how to heal that.
Wow. So animals are able to sense the truth. This is why when tsunamis and stuff, they're much more smarter than us because they're on a frequency. They are on a frequency and they're able to pick up things even before it happens and make a move.
Well, and part of that is because they're prey animals. So they have to be in the moment. So if you've ever just watched a horse or any other animal, for the most part, even though they look like they're sleeping, I mean, I'm looking at my dogs right now and they're laying here, you know, sleeping. But even though their eyes are closed, they know exactly what's going on. If they heard a door open, they'd be gone. You know, if they hear, you know, my husband's vehicle drive up, I could be in the other room, you know, they could be asleep and they could hear, they know his vehicle, right? That all of a sudden they're up, you know, they know if it's not supposed to be here, you know, the list goes on. And the horses are exactly like that. They may be having their head down and eating, but if something causes them to be on alert, they're going to know exactly what's going on. Now, if I drive up and they know that, you know, this is kind of the time frame I drive up and I'm going to feed, their behavior is going to be completely different than if I drive up with the horse trailer. If I drive up with the horse trailer, they also know something's going on. Somebody's getting moved, somebody's going to the vet, what's going on, and they're on alert, right? I come walking out to the pasture with a halter. They're like, what's going on? You know? She's not coming out here just to talk today. She's wanting to move somebody. Somebody's going to work. Something's going on.
You know, as you talk, I remember, you know, Animal Farm. And when you watch the movie and you watch movies with animals that talk, you know, they know. Yeah. They're like, oh my God, that's not the time she normally wakes up in the morning. Something is wrong. What is going on? Yeah, and they start talking amongst themselves and sending a message to the other animals. And they'll be like, no, she normally doesn't do that. No.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. But why are we so stupid as humans?
Yeah. I guess that's the difference between animals and us, right?
And they say we're supposed to be smarter. We're supposed to be higher on the animal. What do they call it?
The hierarchy.
Yeah, but I know the animals are smart. I've always known it. I've said something is off about that. I don't believe that. The animals are much smarter. I watch how animals move, how they come together as a team, you know, to build houses, to protect, to whatever. They're just awesome. I don't see humans doing that, and I think humans really need to pay attention to animals to learn from them. I want to hop across quickly and showcase your website, Andrea, because I know we have run across time. Let me just quickly do that. I was on your site a while ago. Why am I not getting on? It's www.witherswhisper, WHITHERS, whisper.
Yep.
So why am I not getting on?
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to get on here. Withers, WHITHERS, whisper. See if you are able to get on. Are you able to?
Just 1 second. Yep, I just got in there.
I don't understand. Spell it for me.
WITH.
Oh, I know what it is. I had an extra. I had WHITH. Figured it was that extra H. WITHERS, whisper.
Yep.
.com. Here we go. All right, so let me just quickly showcase that. There we are with the beautiful horses. Is that an actual image of them?
No, those are just photographs that I have. Okay. Some of the photographs farther down are some of our horses.
Yeah, they're beautiful. When do you have your free consultation so that persons can take advantage of that?
Yep, they can call me. They can send me an email. There's a contact on here, whatever's easiest for them.
Okay, so I'm clicking on that now so that they can know where to go.
Yep.
So you can schedule an appointment. Okay, yeah, look, free consultation, show available times, and the calendar is there. So it's pretty easy. Everything is set and ready
Yep.
with a beautiful horse. And where do I find your books? Let's see, is it under the about?
It's under the shop there.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So when you said you have a book coming out, is it this one that you were talking about? Which one was it?
Yes. So I have both of the books you mentioned are out now. The Touch by a Horse in Series 3, as well as Living Your Joy.
Okay, I'm not seeing Living Your Joy here.
Yeah, you need to actually click on the books.
Oh, this one. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, there we are. Yes, divorce vows. Why is the woman climbing the cake? Why is he pulling her up? Guiding you from pain to peace. Touched by a Horse. Okay, so we have Living Your Joy.
And we're doing some changes. The IT people have this wrong, so that needs to be updated. But yeah.
That's all right. That's okay. So we have pronounce this for me, equisology.
Yeah, so the book Equisology is basically taking the Myers-Briggs personality test and breaking it down for horses so you can determine what your horse's personality is.
Really? There's such a thing?
Yes.
Oh my God, what is the world coming to?
Horses are just like human beings. They all have personalities. Some are more extroverted than introverted. Some are thinkers, some are feelers. Yeah, it's very
interesting. It helps you to match the horse to you, right?
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily match the horse to me. Having the same personality as I do isn't always fun to be with.
Oh, but do you know, like when you walk into a place, like people who are trying to find a dog, let's say a pet, and people walk into a place that has dogs, whatever, it could be a shelter, they're finding a dog, and there is one that your soul just resonates with. Is it the same thing with horses, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You just connect with a particular one, and they move towards you. There's some sort of connection.
Correct.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the people who walk towards you, human to human, isn't as good as the horses and the dogs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Is this a video? Yes.
Yeah.
So I want persons who will be watching this episode to look at this so that they can understand what the theory is about. Beautiful horse. Look at the structure of this handsome dude. Oh my gosh. Is that one of yours?
Nope. Just a picture of a horse.
Oh, but it's handsome. I mean, oh my God, look at that. They just look awesome. Oh my God, any final words, Andrea?
Yeah, with it being the holiday season, I think that people should just take some time to really focus and get back in their body and be with their family, turn cell phones off, get away from the computer, and just be. Even if it's for a day or two, get out of the hustle and bustle and really take the time to enjoy what the holiday season is about. And it's really about giving and being with friends and family. Yeah. And I think that sometimes gets lost in the hustle and the bustle.
And for those who are alone, what would you say to them?
You don't have to be alone. There's plenty of opportunities in the world. You can go feed the homeless. You can, find a family to adopt you for the day. There's plenty of opportunities. You don't need to be at home alone. There's people in the nursing home that don't have families. Go hang out with them.
That's nice.
Like I said, there's plenty of opportunities for people. You do not have to be alone.
Yeah, I like that. Give up yourself. Don't focus on you necessarily about you being alone, but give, and you will find out that some people are more lonely than you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Andrea Hall, for being on Between the Lines a second time around. And of course, as you progress in your business and what you're doing, and of course, sending me my present for the Christmas holidays.
Yes.
Yes, I want to wish you all the best. And feel
Thank
free,
you.
you know
Same
how
to
to
you.
reach me. Thank you. You know how to reach me if you want to come back on and, tell me how you're progressing and what's happening with my horses.
All right. Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Same to you, my darling.
Thanks. Bye-bye.